Let me ask you something. When was the last time you spent an entire Saturday cleaning your house? And by Wednesday, it looked like you never lifted a finger? The dishes are stacked again. There's a pile of mail on the counter that's somehow breeding. Your bedroom has that "I'll deal with it later" chair. You know the one. The chair that's wearing more clothes than you are. And here's the part that really gets me. You did the work. You put in the hours. You scrubbed. You vacuumed. You told yourself this time it's going to stick. And it didn't. Again. So you start to wonder if something's wrong with you. Maybe you're just not disciplined enough. Maybe you're just a messy person, and that's that. I'm here to tell you it's not you. It's the method. The whole idea of cleaning your house, setting aside a big block of time to attack the entire place at once, is broken. It's a losing game, and the harder you play it, the more you lose. Now, about 8 years ago, I came across the way a lot of Japanese households approach this. And I want to be clear up front. This isn't some mystical thing, and it's not about turning your home into a museum. It's about 5 specific habits, small ones, almost annoyingly small. The kind of thing where you'd look at it and go, "That's it? That's the secret?" But here's what nobody tells you. There's one habit on this list, number 4, that most people get completely backwards. They think they're doing it. They're actually doing the opposite. And it's the single biggest reason their house never stays clean. I'll get to it, but I need you to understand the first 3 before it'll make any sense. So if you've ever felt like you're cleaning on a treadmill, working hard, going nowhere, give me the next 20 minutes. By the end of this, you're going to stop cleaning your whole home, and your home is going to be cleaner than it's ever been. Stick with me. Let's get into it. Before I give you the 5 habits, I need to spend 2 minutes on why the way most of us were taught to clean is working against us. Because if you don't understand the problem, the solution's going to sound like a gimmick. Here's what most of us do. We let things slide during the week. We're busy, work, kids, the commute, the 15 other things pulling at us. So the mess builds and builds. And we tell ourselves, "I'll handle it all on the weekend." Then the weekend comes, and now you're staring down a mountain. Every room needs work. It's overwhelming before you even start. So what happens? One of 2 things. Either you push through it, burn 3 or 4 hours, feel wrecked, and swear you'll never let it get this bad again, until you do. Or you look at the mountain, feel the dread, and just don't. You watch the game instead, and the mess wins by default. Either way, you lose. There's a term for what's happening here. It's called activation energy. The amount of effort it takes just to start a task. And the bigger the job looks, the higher that activation energy climbs. A 4-hour clean has a massive barrier to starting. A 2-minute wipe down has almost none. The Japanese approach I'm about to walk you through does one thing brilliantly. It takes activation energy to almost 0. It never lets the mountain form in the first place. You're not cleaning harder, you're cleaning in a way where the work never piles up into something you dread. All right, 5 habits. Let's go. We'll start with the one that's the easiest to adopt and honestly gives you the biggest return for the least effort. In Japan, you do not wear your outdoor shoes inside the house. Full stop. There's an entry area, it's called the Genkan, that sits a step below the rest of the home. You come in, you take your shoes off there, and you step up into the living space in socks or house slippers. Outside stays outside. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I already kick my shoes off when I get home. Maybe. But do the people who visit? Do the kids? Does it happen every single time without thinking about it? Because that's the difference between a habit and a nice idea. Here's why this matters more than it sounds. Think about where your shoes have been today. The gas station, the parking lot, the office bathroom, the sidewalk. Every one of those surfaces leaves something on the sole of your shoe, and you are tracking all of it across your floors, your carpet, into your bedroom. Studies on this stuff are genuinely gross. The bottom of the average shoe carries a staggering amount of bacteria, and most of what you're vacuuming up in a home is dirt that walked in on somebody's feet. So when you stop shoes at the door, you're not just being polite. You are cutting the amount of dirt entering your home by a huge margin, which means your floors stay cleaner longer, which means you clean them less often. You see how this works? We're not adding a chore. We're removing the source of the chore. Here's how you actually make it stick. Because just take your shoes off isn't a system. Put a bench or a chair right by your entry door. Put a shoe rack or a simple tray next to it. Make a spot where shoes obviously belong. When there's an easy, obvious place for something, people use it. When there isn't, they don't. And get yourself a decent pair of house shoes. Not the ready 10-year-old slippers. Get something you actually like putting on. Because comfort is what turns this from a rule into something you look forward to. Give it 1 week of shoes off at the door. Then look at your floors. You're going to be a little shocked at the difference. That's habit 1. This second one is the engine behind the whole system. If you take nothing else from this video, take this. The habit is simple to say. You clean as you go immediately in the moment, not later. There's a principle in Japan sometimes tied to the idea of osoji, the routine daily upkeep, and the core of it is this. You never let a small mess become a big one. The second something's out of place, you deal with it right then, while it's still a 30-second job. Let me give you real examples, because this only works when it's concrete. You finish brushing your teeth. Before you walk away, you take 10 seconds and wipe down the sink and the counter. Done. Now that sink never builds up that crusty layer that eventually takes you 20 minutes and a scrub brush to deal with. You're cooking dinner. While the pasta's boiling, you're not standing there scrolling your phone. You're rinsing the cutting board, wiping the counter, putting the spice jars back. By the time you sit down to eat, the kitchen is already 90% clean. There's no kitchen disaster waiting for you after the meal. You take off your jacket, it goes on the hook, not the chair. Right now, not later. Here's the psychology, and this is important for guys our age who've got 100 things competing for attention. Every small mess you walk past isn't just sitting there, it's costing you. It's a tiny nag in the back of your mind. 10 little messes around the house equal 10 little open tabs in your brain, quietly draining you. When you reset in the moment, you're not just keeping the house clean. You're keeping your head clear, and the math is undeniable. Wiping the sink now takes you 30 seconds. Letting it go for 2 weeks turns it into a 15-minute job. You are literally trading 30 seconds today to avoid 15 minutes later. Nobody who thinks about it clearly takes that trade the wrong way. But we do it every day out of habit. The rule I want you to adopt is this. If it takes less than 1 minute, do it now. Don't file it away for later. Later is where clean homes go to die. If you see it and it's under a minute, handle it on the spot. Start with just one room. I'd say the kitchen, because that's where mess concentrates fastest. Practice the 1-minute reset there for a week until it's automatic. Then let it spread. That's habit 2, and it's the one that changes everything. Now, habit 2, cleaning as you go only works if there's somewhere to put things. And that's habit 3. Every single item you own has one specific place it belongs. This is a core idea in the KonMari method that came out of Japan. But strip away the branding and it's dead simple. Tidying up is only hard when you have to decide where things go. When every item already has a home, tidying stops being decision-making and becomes just putting things back. And putting things back is easy. It's the deciding that drains you. Think about your junk drawer. Why is it a disaster? Because nothing in it has a real home. It's the place things go when they don't have a place. Now, think about your silverware drawer. It's almost always organized. Why? Because every fork has an obvious spot. You never stand there wondering where the fork goes. You just put it there. That's the entire principle. We want your whole house to work like the silverware drawer, not the junk drawer. Here's how you build it. Pick one category of stuff that constantly ends up scattered around your house. For a lot of guys, it's chargers and cables, or keys and wallet and sunglasses, or tools, or the mail. Pick one, then decide, right now, this is where it lives. Keys go in this bowl by the door. Every time. Mail goes in this one tray, and it gets sorted every evening. Chargers live in this one drawer. The test of whether something has a real home is this. Can you put it away without thinking? If you have to pause and go, where should this go? It doesn't have a home yet. Fix that, and half your clutter problem disappears on its own. And let me add a gut check here. As you're assigning homes, you're going to run into stuff that doesn't deserve one. Things you don't use, don't need, forgot you owned. Set those aside. We're going to deal with them in Habit 4. And Habit 4 is the one I told you most people get completely backwards. So keep that pile in mind. That's Habit 3. Every item, one home, no deciding. Let's get to the big one. All right, this is the one I promised you at the start. This is where most people go wrong, and I mean most people. The habit is about owning less. In Japan, there's a concept called Danshari. 3 characters that roughly mean refusing, disposing, and separating. Refusing new stuff coming in, disposing of the excess, and separating yourself from the attachment to things you don't need. Now, here's where people get it backwards. When most guys hear own less, they think the answer is to get better at organizing their stuff. So they go buy more bins, more shelves, more closet organizers, drawer dividers, storage cubes. They spend a Saturday and a couple $100 turning their clutter into neatly arranged clutter. And that's the trap. Organizing's not the same as owning less. When you organize clutter, you still have all of it. You've just built it a nicer prison. You still have to dust it, move it, work around it, and reorganize it in 6 months when it drifts back into chaos. You've added work, not removed it. That's the backwards move. People think buying storage is progress. It's the opposite. It's committing to keeping stuff you should be getting rid of. The real move, the Danshari move, is to reduce the number of things you own in the first place. Because here's the truth nobody wants to hear. A cluttered home isn't a cleaning problem. It's a too much stuff problem. You cannot organize your way out of owning too much. You can only own less. And think about what less stuff actually gets you. Fewer things to clean around. Fewer surfaces collecting dust. Fewer objects to move when you wipe a counter. A closet with half the clothes is a closet you can actually keep neat. A garage with half the junk is a garage you can park in. Every single thing you remove is a thing you never have to clean, store, or think about again. Owning less isn't deprivation. It's subtraction as a superpower. Here's how to start without it being overwhelming, because I'm not telling you to throw out everything you own. Take that pile from Habit 3, the stuff that didn't deserve a home. Be honest with each item. Ask one question. Have I used this in the last year, and would I miss it if it were gone? If the answer's no, it goes. Donate it, sell it, toss it. And then, this is the refusing part, get a little more careful about what comes in. Before you buy something, ask where it's going to live and whether it's worth the space and the upkeep. Most impulse buys don't survive that question. You don't have to become a monk. Even cutting 20% of your stuff will transform how your home feels and how little effort it takes to keep clean. That's Habit 4, and now you know why the storage bin approach never worked for you. You were organizing the problem instead of removing it. Last one, and this is the one that locks in all the others. The habit is a short daily reset, I call it the micro-close, where at the end of each day, you spend just 10, maybe 15 minutes returning your main living spaces to 0. Not deep cleaning, not scrubbing, just resetting. Everything back to its home, surfaces wiped, tomorrow's starting line, clean. This mirrors how a lot of Japanese households treat the end of the day, and there's real wisdom in it. Think about a good restaurant kitchen. Every night before they close, they reset the whole line, everything cleaned, everything back in place, ready for the next day. They don't do it because they're bored. They do it because starting the next day from chaos is a nightmare, and starting from zero is calm and fast. Your home is your line. Close it out every night. Here's how to run your micro close. Set a timer for 10 minutes. The timer matters because it makes it finite and it turns it into a little game against the clock. Then move fast. Dishes in the dishwasher, counters wiped, pillows back on the couch, mail sorted, shoes to the rack. Anything out of place goes back to its home. When the timer goes off, you stop. You're done. You don't have to finish everything. You just have to run the 10 minutes and do it at the same time every night so it hooks onto something you already do, right after dinner, or right before you sit down to watch TV. You don't earn the couch until the line is closed. Attach it to an existing habit and it'll stick. Here's the magic of it. When you do this nightly, you wake up every single morning to a clean, calm home. No dread, no mountain. You start your day from zero instead of starting it already behind. And that feeling, walking into a kitchen that's ready for you instead of one that's already yelling at you, that feeling is what keeps this whole system going. 10 minutes a night buys you a home that never spirals. That's the trade of a lifetime. That's habit 5. So let's bring it home. 5 habits. Not one of them is hard. Shoes off at the door so the dirt never gets in. The 1-minute reset so small messes never become big ones. Everything has a home, so tidying becomes automatic. Own less. Actually less, not better organized. So there's less to clean in the first place. And the nightly micro close, so you wake up to zero every day. Notice what none of these are. None of them is spend your Saturday cleaning the whole house. That's the whole point. You're going to stop cleaning your whole home, because when you run these 5 habits, your home never gets dirty enough to need it. The big clean disappears, because the mess never gets a chance to build. Here's my challenge to you. Don't try all 5 tomorrow. That's a recipe for quitting by Thursday. Pick one. I'd start with the 1-minute reset in your kitchen because it gives you the fastest payoff. Run it for a week. Feel the difference. Then add the next one. Small habits, done consistently, beat massive effort done occasionally. Every time. That's the whole secret. And now it's yours. If this hit home for you, do me a favor and let me know down in the comments which of the 5 you're starting with. I read them and I want to know. Hit subscribe if you want more of this, and I've got another video right here that pairs perfectly with this one. I'll see you in that one. Take care of yourself, and go close your line tonight.